First off, I would like to tell everybody that we had a record-breaking year this year with conference attendance. Yeah. The estimate that I have right now from our registration desk is 1,376 folks came out this year. That is amazing considering what a tough year it was for everybody. Secondly, silent auction items are available for pickup, so please stop by and look at the posters to see if you want any of those items. You can see Mark out there, and we would love to avoid taking home any of those items with us to the office, so please, please, please stop by and pick those up. Next up, we're going to do our donation drawing. So if anybody entered the donation drawings, please pay close attention. First off, for the $100 Wegmans gift card, I need a drum roll. Nice, thank you. Lisa Barr. Lisa Barr. Is Lisa Barr in the room? It's cool, we've got her phone number. All right, next up, for the collection of NOFA guides. Drums. We have, I think it's A. Kennedy. A. Kennedy? Really? All right, great. Well, we'll send those prizes along to folks. There are still tickets available for the Organic Valley free milk for a year. That's a $520 value. We're going to keep selling those tickets, so they're available out there at publication still, if you're interested. All right, next up, in the middle of your conference program, all of you should have gotten a yellow sheet like this. It's the overall conference evaluation. This little document will take you about 3 minutes to fill out, and it's very, very important to us. This evaluation helps us improve the conference year after year, so if you think we're doing things well and we should keep doing them the way we're doing them, please tell us about it. If there are things we should change about the conference, things you'd like to see in the future, let us know and we'll try to make it happen. When you fill this out, there will be volunteers at the back of the room holding big cardboard boxes there and maybe over here. You can hand them to those folks along with your name badge, which we would love to get back to. If you hand in both items, you will be entered in a drawing for a free conference registration to next year's conference. So definitely worth it to take the 3 minutes and fill it out. If you're not interested in filling it out right here, you can also fill it out online. We're going to send a link to everybody in your email, and you should get that after the conference so that you can fill it out online. Next, research symposium posters. If you still have one up, please go take it down right after the keynote session. We'd love to get that area cleaned up. And then last on my list, the Winter Conference is an enormous team effort. No one or two people could do this by themselves. And so we're going to make your hands hurt a little bit because there's a lot of people that need some applause. First off, I'd like to thank all of our presenters, keynote speakers for coming out this weekend, sharing your knowledge and experience with everybody. That is so valuable, and that is what NOFA New York is founded on. That's what we rely upon, and that's how we're going to grow the organic movement. So a big hand for all of the presenters this weekend. Thank you so much, guys. To all of our food donors, a huge thank you for making those meals possible. Again, it was a tough year for people, and you guys donated like never before, and we really, really appreciate it. Everybody really appreciates that, so let's give them a hand. All of our volunteers volunteers, folks who received scholarship, folks who just wanted to help out with the conference. Thank you for helping out wherever you were needed. You guys made this stuff happen. Thanks also to our exhibitors in the trade show, advertisers in the program, and of course our sponsors who make this event financially possible, especially the USDA Risk Management Agency, the USDA NIFA Beginning Farmer and Rancher Program, the Valley Table, Edible New York, Farm Family Insurance, Organic Valley, Tierra Farm, Country Folks, Stonyfield Farm. A big hand for those folks. That support really matters. Next, some folks that have been working tirelessly throughout the weekend. Honestly, it seems to me that they sleep even less than we do. The fantastic staff of the Saratoga Hilton and the City Center, they make sure that we have everything that we need, where we need it, when we need it, and they work really, really hard to make that happen. So a huge round of applause for them. Thanks especially to the chefs, Frank and Mike. They're in the kitchen. Yeah. Also, I know Kate said thank you yesterday, maybe, to everybody who's wearing a blue shirt, the staff of NOFA-New York. Again, this is a team effort. Everybody contributes, everybody works overtime to put this together. And so everybody who's wearing a blue staff shirt, a big thank you to the staff of NOFA-New York, NOFA-New York Certified Organic. And lastly, of course, a big thanks to all of you for coming out this weekend. That's an enormous number of people that showed up this year. Our old record was 1,180 people who came out last year. We broke that record by almost 200 this year. So a big round of applause for everyone. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Maryrose Livingston.
Hi there, welcome. I'm Maryrose Livingston. I'm on the board of NOFA-New York, and it is my great honor to introduce this year's Farmers of the Year. And just so you know, the Farmer of the Year award from NOFA-New York is given to someone who really expresses the organic ideal in a way that goes above and beyond what any of us would expect. And what these folks are going to get, in addition to your full attention, is a lifetime membership to the organization, and there's not very many people who are in that club, so that's a great thing. So I'm really proud to be a member of the same community that our Farmers of the Year are in. Paul and Maureen Knapp are in Preble, New York, just down the road from me, and they are the fourth generation to farm at their land there, and they were doing what comes naturally, and that was farming conventionally, dairy and some produce. And in the late 90s, Maureen was reading some things like New Farm and Acres USA. And she started to get some ideas about organics and started haranguing Paul, I would say, somewhat, that this might be something we want to do. And Paul, knowing an immovable object when he sees one, said, all right, let's give it a try. And I think those of you who are farming land that's been in your family for a long time can appreciate how brave a move that is, to say, we're going to turn this ship, and we're going to turn it in a dramatic way. That takes a lot of guts, and they've done that, and they've done it with real panache. So they're farming there. They have their organic dairy. They're doing organic you-pick strawberries. They have poultry, pastured poultry, eggs, turkeys, beef and pork. They also have a large compost facility on the farm. So what they're doing is they're providing food and fertility to their community, and they're really getting the word out to people about organic food. And they're making a place for people to come to their farm and get great food and see what organics are about. They also have a really strong commitment to preserving farmland. Not only have they put their land in a farmland trust, but they're working actively to help other farmers do that as well, to make farmland something that can go into the future and always be a place to preserve food. You know, they're doing all this really great work on top of raising 3 really cool boys on their farm who are accomplished in their own right, and you'll get to hear from them as well. So on behalf of NOFA New York, we want to present Paul and Maureen and Casey and Blaze and Evan with the 2012 Farmer of the Year, and give them a big hand.
Thanks, Maryrose. Yeah, that is pretty much how it happened. But you know, it's an incredible honor for us to be up here today. I do have to admit, though, that what we do on our farm seems pale in comparison to what all you folks are doing. I mean, you know, you come to a conference. You can only sit in on one session at a time when you really want to see all 3. In the summertime, we get the emails with all the farm tours, and geez, you always have something going on. And you all are doing some really incredible things that inspire us. We hope that we can maybe inspire you a little bit also. But thank you for all that you do too. I guess I do have to say, Maureen and I are really blessed with the family that we have. They have talents that didn't come from us. So it's been a pleasure, and it's been a great pleasure and a joy seeing them grow up into the adults that they have become. We're definitely not an island. We buy hay, grain, pasture, cattle all throughout central New York. We've connected with some really great farmers that we've developed partnerships over the year. They understand where we're coming from, and vice versa. And it's just a great partnership to be involved with. Catch up with the pictures here a little bit. So we've always been a diversified farm. My grandfather liked the produce, cabbage and potatoes. My dad always liked the cows. Up until about 10 years ago, we were cabbage growers, and some other vegetables at the time also. But to make the organic work, we just stuck with pick your own strawberries as our produce part of the diversification. Since that time, we've ventured into some pastured poultry, the chickens. I'm not keeping up here very well. Maureen takes some really great pictures. She's a fantastic photographer. I want you to see these pictures. We started with the chickens, added on the turkeys, the pork and beef have come along also. Seeing this, the people that would come to the farm, the more that we had to offer, the happier they were, and we make some money. Sometimes we seem to spend a little bit more, but The customers that we have, and I'm sure you can all attest to this, the customers that we have enhance our life just as much as we hope we do theirs. So it's a great relationship that we have. The dairy part of our farm is we are members of the Organic Valley Cooperative. It's nationwide, national cooperative based in Wisconsin. Excuse me. We've had the opportunity to meet farmers all over the country that share the organic spirit that we have, and it's just been an incredible experience. Through Organic Valley, we've been able to participate in the Farmers in Marketing and some farmer ambassador programs. We've gone to Farm Aid with Organic Valley, done some trade shows, events, sales, been involved with the sales team. It's a really great opportunity for us to get out and spread the word. We also had the privilege of hosting a sales farm field day for the national sales representatives. We had people from all over the country come to our little farm, our little four-corner town. It was pretty neat. We're really fortunate to be involved with Organic Valley. We host tours of school kids. We just have a hard time saying no to these things. We have school kids. This is a couple pictures of some second graders. We have some college classes. Every now and then there's some elementary kids, some different elementary kids come also. It's a great opportunity. But a handful of kids have been on farms before. Some of them never have. Some of them may never ever be on a farm again. It's a neat experience, and some different events. You just need a place to put up a tent, and you can have an event on your farm. We're at the headwaters of the Chesapeake Bay watershed, and the creek that's in front of our barn is part of that. It's important for me to explain to people that come to the farm that what we do on our farm, the water that could leave our farm has the ability to affect hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. And we want to make sure that water that leaves our farm affects people in a positive way and not a negative way. And for us to become organic farmers, that was a way for us to make a difference in the world. And if the kids are old enough and they're paying attention to us, I like to tell them that this is a perfect opportunity for me to tell them that don't be afraid to be one person and make a difference. But one person really can make a difference. We all know that. We know that organic farming, we know what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. But it doesn't hurt to tell our customers, to remind our customers that when they support organic farmers, it just has a ripple effect down the line of what they're doing for the world. When we decided to go organic, it was difficult for my father. All through high school, he would say to me, Paul, you're different. You can be different. And I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the 7th in line, but he says, you're different from the rest of them. You can be different. And, I didn't really understand what he was saying at the time, and in typical father-son fashion, it took me 20 years to realize what he was talking about. And, so when we decided to go organic, my dad said, well, that's not the different I was thinking of. But it was hard for him, because the example that I could use, when people came and settled in our valley, they settled on the hilltops. They for whatever reason, different farmers say different things, but they didn't settle in the valleys. And it took them a long time to realize that the valleys were much more fertile than the hilltops. And then for him, we were going back up onto the top of the hill. But I did show him a milk check after a while, and he stopped bothering me a little bit. But you know, that's you know, being an organic farmer, there's really no better place that we can be right now. We have people calling us, asking us for our produce, you know, what we produce on our farm. And that never happened in conventional agriculture. We had to bag and give away. The turkeys are sold out 2 or 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, and that just doesn't happen. So thanks for listening to me. We've got quite a show lined up for you. Thanks for your spirit.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So we didn't get a lot of chance to coordinate our presentations before we actually sat up here. So I may overlap some of what Paul does, and I guess I just want to warn you. Paul talked a little bit about the farm and the history and how we evolved, and I was going to talk a little bit about how we direct market from the farm. And so that really started, other than the strawberries, that really started probably in the late 90s. Paul and I went to an Acres USA conference and learned all sorts of wonderful things and got all charged and decided from that conference that we needed to make compost on the farm. And so we began to make compost on the farm, and we realized there's a little bit more to making compost than just picking it up and dumping it over with a bucket loader, which is what was happening. So we went out to set out to find some funding or some help for purchasing a compost turner for the farm. And one of the places that we went to was our local RC&D office in Norwich, New York, Jim McLaughlin and Phil Metzger, if you know them. And while they really couldn't help us out with the compost turner, they had another opportunity for us. And that was, they had a grant through what was then Heifer Project International, and now it's Heifer Project. And that grant was to put pasture poultry technology out on the land. So I had read Joel's book, and I was, you know, excited about doing it, but less excited about taking on something on the farm. But Paul forged ahead, and that's what we did. And so that grant gave us access to the technology. Jim came on the farm, showed us how to build the cages, took us through Pasture Poultry 101, and some equipment was given to us, and then the final thing was 100 chicks. And so we started on our learning curve with the poultry. And the birds that were left, we divided in half, and we kept half for ourselves, and we gave the rest out to carefully chosen customers, which were our customer base, and have never looked back from there. And that was really the start of the direct marketing as we do it now on the farm. The method that we use and started off with right away was just email marketing for a couple of reasons. The first one being we could hit a lot of people with one communication, but probably the most important thing about that is that when they communicated back to me, I had a record of the orders that they were sending to us. And to this day, I shy away from telephone orders because number one, sometimes I forget to write down the orders after I finish talking to people, and number two, it just takes a lot more time to talk on the telephone. So mainly that's what we do, and we started out back then with 1 or 2 newsletters a year, and we've evolved now into a website which acts more like an informational brochure. It's not a fancy website, it just has all the information there so people can go to it, and I don't have to spend a lot of time telling people how we do things. And then now we go to an e-newsletter about once a month to give people the information. We update them during the pasture season, and then with beef during the colder weathers, maybe a little bit less. And the reason I don't want to give them too much is I want them to look at every single email that I send them, because oftentimes they have important information on there, and it's important that they see it. Otherwise, it comes back to hit me later when they don't show up, or they show up at a different time or whatever. So probably 2 or 3 years ago, we started using Constant Contact for that, and that's worked out really well for us. It handles a large volume of email, and I get some information back from that. So that, as I said, that began the direct processing, or the direct marketing on the farm. When people came, it's very much as Joel talks about, it's relationship marketing. And I can remember when people first started coming, the older people would come on and they would share stories with us about the farm they grew up on, their grandparents' farm, whatever it was their connection to the land, and there was like an almost palpable need for them to get back to the land and do what they knew. And that was great. And then there was the younger people coming on, mostly moms with kids, and a fair portion of people who had been sick and were looking for clean food would come on too. And just building the friendships, as Paul had said, with them has been great. And the other thing about the direct marketing, both when people come on the farm to buy and the events that we do on the farm, is we have pretty much a captive audience, and they're there and they're listening, and we can tell them how their food is raised, why it's important to them that it's raised that way, how it affects the environment that it's raised that way. And then the larger events that we have on the farm, we sort of raise our visibility quotient in the community, and people, they're just, if nothing else, they're driving by and look and say, what the heck's going on there? And again, there's more interaction with the community and questions. And so direct marketing has been pretty good for us. So this is our method, but it does have some drawbacks. And I think corporations integrate vertically for efficiency's sake and to capture a larger share of the consumer dollar. And I can say that I think we're a form of vertical integration, in that we raise the food, we market, we process, and we sell everything on the farm, and we do capture a much larger part of the consumer dollar. But I don't think that it's necessarily an efficient way to do things. So it works for us, but it's not for everyone. And we saw that, or at least I saw that, and many of you did yesterday in Kathleen Terry's video in her keynote. And so I'm gonna just ask everybody to just, we talked about direct marketing, let's just stop for a minute and let's try and zoom out. If we're on the computer, we would zoom out and look at the great big picture. And the big picture that I want to talk about is the organic community. So we stand now, as the organic community, we stand as an alternative to the current food system. We are alternative food, which is analogous to what more of us know of as alternative medicine. We are alternative food as that. So there's a demand, and there's a growing demand for what we do, but it's really not easy or convenient for people to seek us out, although they do. And I think organic really shouldn't be the alternative food. It should be the food. There should just be organic food. Would that be wonderful? Can you imagine a world like that where we didn't have to think about that? So towards that end, and this conference really has been all about that, we need to develop a system, or maybe several systems, different from the one that's already in place. And this system will serve our values and our needs. And as Kathleen talked about yesterday, it needs to be holistic and all-inclusive. Some of the things that she said, some of the relationships she was finding out, some things she didn't understand, I think it's a long and complicated process, And I think it's one well worth taking and one that we really, really need to keep exploring and keep working on. Like I said, the wheels are starting to turn, and there are organizations out there doing great work. In the fundraising dinner last night, we heard a couple of them. Catherine's organization was amazing. You know, the work that she's putting into it and the things that she's finding out, it's basically recreating the wheel. And I think that there's a lot of that going on out there right now. All weekend long, it's really been so fitting, the cooperative economy, and that's what we are as the organic community. We all need to work together to make this a reality. Let's make organic food the food in this country. And so, once more, towards that end, we sat in the keynote yesterday, and Kate talked about how NOFA-New York is a membership-driven, a membership organization. And NOFA-New York has grown so incredibly over the past several years. I can't even begin. I mean, these guys have done such an incredible job. And so I'm going to reiterate what she said yesterday, and that was, if you've let your membership lapse, or if you're not a member, please become a member. This is where the movement starts. This is what we need. It's a grassroots movement. We need everybody we can to make it go. If you are already a member, there was that, Kate, what was that $10 membership thing that you were talking about? It's easy to recruit somebody. It's a real deal. Tell them to come on in. It's only a $10 membership. It's kind of a trial membership for a year. They'll see what they get, and hopefully they'll be back for more. It's really, really important. So we all need to work together to keep this movement going and develop that system to make organic food. And so I'm going to turn it over to Casey now.
Hello. First, I want to thank NOFA for awarding my parents this award. This is the first time since 2007 that we've all left the farm at once. It's a bit of a family vacation. And secondly, I just want to take this opportunity to thank my parents for all the hard work that they do with on the farm, and then making sure that they give us all the opportunities that we've been able to be involved in. So thank you. My name is Casey Knapp. I'm 22 years old, and I'm studying animal science at Cornell University. And I'm going to be talking about 3 lessons that I've learned growing up on a farm and also being involved in the Young Farmers movement. And the first one has to do with what everyone is doing, or what you want to do, or what you like to do. And I think that everyone in this room has probably been asked that question: what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? And probably not a lot of people can answer that, even right now, if you're not a young farmer. And so I want to take a moment and ask you a different question. It's maybe a back door into finding an answer into what you want to do, and that's what excites you, and what makes you excited. What excited me from a very young age was always talking to people. It was just simply talking to people about organic farming and organic food, where their food came from. I started doing this in high school, which you can imagine made me extremely popular. But I kept at it because that's what I believed in, and it's doing that, telling people about my family's farm and organic agriculture has brought me all over the place. So once you find out what you're excited about, the second lesson, the second thing that you can do is find your group. Is find the people who connect with the excitement and the energy that you have. And collaboration and teamwork is what allows for the whole to be greater than the sum of its parts, which is cooperation and cooperative model, which is the theme of what we're doing this weekend. And the group that I decided to join, or that I first was excited about, is called Generation Organic. And that is Organic Valley's initiative to usher in the next generation of young organic farmers. And it's basically a network of young Organic Valley farmers, ages 16 to 35, and from all over the country. And since 2008, 2008, we've launched a lot of really cool projects, the most impactful of which was this last fall when we did the Generation Organic West Coast bus tour. So this was a 3-week trip throughout the Pacific Northwest in California where 20 young organic farmers stopped at college campuses to talk with students about where their food comes from and who grows their food. And I'm going to show you a little video that we put together so you get a better idea of things that happen. We also did one in 2010 on the East Coast. So that's the exciting group that I'm part of. So that was last year, or that was this fall, and then I don't think I need to say anything more about that.